What is going on, guys? Welcome back. I want to talk about a couple of trades that I threw on today in the market, which I shouldn't have. Today's issue, the predominant issue was over trading and revenge trading. I kept my losses to a minimum. I was trading one NQ contract, and I only lost 400 today. I mean, I know it's big. It could have been way worse, so I was fortunate that it wasn't way worse. But I kept it to 400, so I felt pretty good about it. But I wanted to talk about my original thesis for the day, my plan for the day, and then what I was feeling during the revenge trading and maybe what I could have done better. So just kind of walk through all that. Today, a couple of items. Today is the 19th of June, so Juneteenth today, so I think abbreviated trading hours. So that already probably was a reason to not trade today. But also tomorrow, I believe, is options expiration date. Tomorrow's Friday. So I believe tomorrow is options expiration date. So again, I don't like to trade on like the triple witching days, where the three different lengths of options expire. I prefer to stay away from those because there's a lot of trickery and a lot of nonsense. So again, back-to-back days of questionable trading. So I think right off the bat, before I even placed a trade, I probably was already making a pretty poor decision. But again, this is in hindsight. So the whole point of these videos is to hopefully reflect and to learn on my decisions and my mistakes. Outside of that, today's objective was, again, the orb, the opening range break, just trying to figure out, how it works, what kind of market conditions it works in. And today did not go great. I threw on a pretty short trade right off the bat off of this retrace. We were selling a ton, and I figured we would just continue to sell after a small retrace. So I did have the patience to wait until we got back to the bottom level of the range. But it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And I think after the first trade, you can see all of these trades. It ended up being 3 trades, which is, I would argue, probably 1 or 2 too many. But I had decent trade location. Again, I was trading up in this range here. I was keeping my stops very, very tight. And, we're talking like maybe 4 trades. 4 trades. I was keeping my stops really tight because I didn't want to risk too much each one. There was one trade that I threw on that was like $80. A couple were like 120, 100. But at the end of the day, number one, I can handle a missed trade, and I can even handle 2 missed trades. But when I have to continuously throw on trades in an attempt to try to like make myself right, I'm not trading for the right reasons, and I'm not in the right space. And clearly I wasn't. But that was the issue today. I threw on one trade, and then I was like, man, I want to be right so bad. I want to be right. So let me just throw in another trade. I'll keep the risks tight again. And really at no point did it actually do anything that I wanted it to, which, if we zoom out a little bit, it actually ended up just kind of ranging here the rest of the day. And that's all it's done. So, in what's interesting is like I spent so much of my time in this small area throwing on trades right here, and it just, zooming out, it kind of puts into context. Like, look, I'm over here in this tiny little section of this larger ranging crap day with not a lot of price movement, a lot of price movement in any specific direction. So it just, in hindsight, it's easy to say I could have done this better or you could have done this better. But, that's the whole point. I'm putting myself out here for everybody to hopefully see what it looks like to trade on these types of accounts. But today was a $400 loss. I wanted to be transparent and share that. And I really just threw on way too many trades in here. Emotionally, I was pretty, I think it was just kind of a need, some sort of need to want to be correct. And it's interesting. I've been doing pretty decent on this funded account, and I think this is one of my first days. It might have been one of my first couple of losing days on this entire funded account. So, that could have done it as well. But just in general, just being right. I'm not always going to be right. There's no way. And I've got to recognize that, look, I need to be able to take these losses. I need to be comfortable in myself. I need to be comfortable in my trading, that I know I can come back from these things and that I can actually survive losing days. So yeah, just recognition, I think, after one or two losses that, hey, I need to shut it down. I need to close out, and I need to stop trying to chase. So I think in a perfect world with a losing day, instead of a $400 day, maybe 250, around 250 would be nice, I think, because I'm trying to keep my winning days around 500. So I think if I could keep my losing days around 250, I think we'd be in better shape. But again, it's not pretty. And I think what's interesting also is, like, right after this, I was not feeling good. I didn't want to journal. I didn't want to do anything remote. I was trading on my laptop. I didn't want to do anything remotely close to trading. So I just, I locked myself out on Top Step here and closed my laptop. And I just went in the kitchen. I just ate some shitty sugary food. So, I think that what's interesting is how persistent that mindset can be, and it kind of permeates outside of trading, and it kind of shows the trading in and out. Your life is affected inside and out, both directions, right? If your life outside is not great, then you're going towards your trading is not going to be great, and vice versa. Trading, if you're not careful, can affect the life outside of it. So very interesting to kind of get that perspective, but shouldn't have had all that sugary candy afterwards after a tough day. But I'm here. I'm reflecting on my emotions, my mental state, and I'm trying to get better. And I'm trying to be as transparent as possible. So but that's really all I have. Just 4 trades that at a bunch of revenge trading, trying to be right, trying to be correct, and shouldn't have happened. But it is what it is. I didn't blow my account. Old me would have blown the account, I think. But we're chasing payouts, so we'll see what happens in the future. But that's all I got for you guys today. I'll see you next time. Peace.